Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It's a nice little Thursday. It's a nice little Thursday if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan.
Hey,
you guys have had a nice week, huh?
Morning.
You fucking re-signed Vladdy. You kicked the Red Sox ass. You can go for the sweep today. Wow.
Oh.
Got a little family feud going on today, which I'm pretty excited about. Close out the week with a little family feud. Not a ton of huge stories today, so I guess we can kind of just ramble and go around the league a little bit, show some love to some guys, maybe some lesser appreciated stories. I know we usually get yelled at for not talking about the Brewers enough. And listen, it was a tough start to the season for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hey.
Have they been playing good recently? Yeah. Is it the Colorado Rockies that they're beating up on? Sure.
It's all right. It's all right. It's a little numerology, right?
The schedule's the schedule, as they say, Dallas.
Well, the schedule's the schedule. What I'm saying is the number 5 seemed to slap a lot of Brewers fans right across the face on opening day. Jackson Chourio mainly as well, right? 5 punch outs, not so much. Well, things turned around. Did the Brewers? What, 5? 5 runs in 3 different innings?
Yeah, the Brewers kicked the absolute dog shit out of the Colorado Rockies yesterday.
Chourio,
Christian Yelich hit a home run that was like 470 feet almost. It was one of those where he considered not running the bases. It was like, he hit it that far.
Like, is this can I just touch first and woo, we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Coors Field will provide some of those types of shots, no doubt.
No, for sure. Jackson Chourio, by the way, he's almost joined the club. I think Jayhay had it yesterday. It might have been after you had to leave us, Dallas, but the list of players who had reached at least one bWAR. Jackson Chourio knocking on the door through 12 games. He's at 0.8 wins above replacement, leads the league with 16 RBI. He's got 4 homers. He's got 6 doubles. He's got a triple. OPS knocking on the door of 1,000 at 994. He's hitting 315. He's 21 years old, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys did mention Tyler Soderstrom's name again, or did you just take the fact that I had said Tyler Soderstrom's name and then build off that? Was he mentioned again, Tyler Soderstrom? Because he's the best player in baseball right now, according to bWAR. That's why he's 23. I didn't know if that was discussed because people,
did that make the
Judge,
Nuggs?
6 home runs and well, Sody has 6 homers too.
I have tweeted about Tyler Soderstrom this year, but he was not mentioned on the pod after you left the pod yesterday.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough because it's tough to have that bWAR conversation without mentioning the best player in the game according to the reference. So I just wanted to, I guess, reiterate that point that in that discussion that was left out. But not in this discussion. So Tyler Soderstrom, yes, just according to what you guys were talking about yesterday, best player in baseball. Go ahead. Sorry.
Listen, the metric's the metric. No one's going to sit here and debate you on that.
Well, no. It's because it's not an argument. I mean,
no, it's not. You know what else is an argument, Dallas?
FAX. What's up?
The fact that I'm a fucking winner.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah. Tell him, Jayhay.
The guy won.
I won.
Oh, well, then you're a winner. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we broke it down on the podcast yesterday. Jackson Chourio, Bobby Witt Jr., and what the hell did those guys do? I mean, they cleared the higher mark by leaps and bounds. I mean, it wasn't even close. I think both of them had taken care of business halfway through the game, right, Jared?
Yeah, it was over quick. It was not something I had to really sweat out, which is always great when you can get it done early. But the reason why we're talking about this is because we want to get more of the listener involvement.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be putting out picks every day. This is not how like it was before where it's like, oh, it's Jared pick day. It's the pick of the week. No, every fucking day I'm going to be out there putting my picks on the line. And not if, but when we win together, I want you to be able to send me the proof that we've won together. I'm going to be retweeting, sharing our victories. I know Dallas is not going to be involved in this because he has too much pride. He doesn't want to say that, like, he doesn't want to have to admit that I feed his family pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
So he's privately taking these picks. I know. I actually have legitimate sources that are telling me that Dallas is just taking my picks and whatever. And yeah, congrats. Congrats that you guys have eaten out 3 different times this week. That's on me. But MLB season is here, as you already know. And Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. I want to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like strikeouts, total bases, home runs, so much more.
And just to be clear, it was higher Jackson Chourio total bases, higher Bobby Witt Jr. total bases. It brought it home for the people yesterday.
It sure did. It sure did. And I think, you know what? I like the idea of one day a week. Because, I mean, if you've been following me in my picks for the last, 4 years, I love the total bases. That's what I do. But I think I want to go one day a week where I just hunt homers. What day should that be, Dallas?
I'm trying to think. I don't know, like a Wednesday Whack'em day.
Wednesday Whack'em day.
That's pretty good off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Wednesday Whack'em.
Yeah.
This guy is a sexual deviant.
It's odd that every time I say something, you are the one applying the sexual deviance to it. But I mean,
no,
it is what it is.
I don't know what you did there, dude. It's crazy.
It is what it is. Or how about the Monday mashup?
That's
the Monday masher, Monday
how
mashup.
About Tuesday taters.
Yeah, that's there too.
That's there too. Tank Tuesdays.
I mean, if you're looking for a Tuesday, sounds like you've honed in on Tuesday. And
well, Tuesday usually has a full slate. Tuesdays and Fridays are like full slate days. Like, I don't want to be hunting homers
Saturday.
on
Smash
a
them
fucking,
Saturdays.
How about slamming Sundays?
We could do slamming Sundays.
How about Top Deck Tuesdays?
Fucking.
We could do Mammo Mondays.
See, man, I like Mammo Mondays.
Yeah, Mammo Mondays.
I like a good Mammo on a Monday. Fuck yeah, solid Mammo on a Monday. Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't need a good Mammo to get you through a Monday, huh?
Listen, I'm with you.
You drop a fucking Mammo on a Monday, but week's looking solid.
Yeah,
week is looking solid. I'm not
think,
relying
Jayhay?
on the Tuesday tater. I've already got the fucking. I've already got the Mammo on the Monday.
I feel like these are all really workable. I do feel like ever since the St. Louis video where Dallas, kind of reintroduced Mammo into the lexicon, at least in my world, I feel like Mammo is kind of more our thing now, and it's or it could be more of
we've taken it back.
Yeah.
Like dingers, everybody's using that, whack 'em, maybe a little bit double entendre, like, so yeah, Mammos, it's like, I guess that's kind of double too, but
not at all. Not at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I endorse it. Plus it's on a Monday, so we like get the week started like with a thump.
With a Mammo.
Yeah.
A mammoth thump.
Mammo Mondays. All right. Maybe it switches.
If we had a weekday that began with an L, we could do launch 'em, lose days, launch 'em.
Isn't there
latter days?
Isn't Lunes?
Oh, Lunes Martis. Yeah, that's Monday. So there you go. It's in the stars. Mammo Monday. Launch 'em Lunes. Para la raza, we got you. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like-
No.
Lunes. Launch 'em lunes.
Yes.
Memo martes.
No, that's Mamo Tuesday. We can't do that.
Memo miércoles.
Yeah. Wednesday. I mean, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe the Spanish version is the play because it just kind of rolls off better.
Mm.
We'll workshop.
Exit velo viernes.
I don't think that's a thing. That's going to be tough to pick up. That's gonna.
Yeah. Ding dong domingo.
Oh fucking. Salem
Salamin
Sabado. What are we doing?
We're workshopping, brother. This is what we're doing.
It's called good podcasting, baby.
Yeah, this is called marketing.
Oh man.
This is what happens in boardrooms across the country. We just let people behind the curtain for
that's fair. That is
the brainstorm.
That is absolutely fair. I've been in quite a few meetings leading up to the regular season, and for better or worse, this is pretty much how it ends up 4 minutes after you take care of what needs to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. About right.
Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared, though. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Yeah, let's talk about them Brewers for a second. Jackson Chourio is it may be April 10th, but we're talking MVP candidate for Jackson Chourio. Let's do some April 10th early season overreactions. Because if you really want to overreact, we could talk about the first place Toronto Blue Jays. You got nothing there, Dallas? You don't want to you don't want to admit that the Toronto Blue Jays are in first place, or what?
I mean, no, again, facts are facts. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't look, it's an exciting time to be a Toronto Blue Jay fan.
It is.
There's nothing about me that wants to take away from what the Blue Jay fan base can be feeling right now. Nothing at all, because they are unequivocally atop the division. They have signed up their best player and his grandchildren for the next decade plus. There's little to be bummed out about right now if you're a neighbor to the north. Little. I don't know how long this can last, though. I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's a fair question. Is how long does this maintain? How long can they sustain this?
Did you see the breakdown of via John Heyman just tweeted this?
I can't even believe it. Thank you, John. I can't even believe it.
Thank you, John. It's a $325 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
So in 2026 and 2027, he makes $17 million. In 2028, he makes $16 million. In 2029, he makes $15 million. 2030 through 32, he makes 14.5. 33 and 34, he makes 12.5. 35, he makes 11.5. 36, he makes 10.5. 37, he makes $7 million. And then in 2038 and 2039, he makes $6.25 million.
Yeah. I mean, do we have, just real quickly, is there any issue whatsoever with the contract structure?
No. I mean, yeah, just give me $325 million up front. That's great.
But I mean, when we think about why the Jays do this, right? To circumnavigate the tax so now you not only are getting banged on that front, but you don't have to worry about trying to move a $30+ million a year player at the very end of this, which is typically how baseball has gone, right? Backloading these deals. And I think we've seen a shift where guys are getting paid up front. The bonus is having an impact, a big impact on how business is being handled. So I think it's just the Blue Jays doing a good job of understanding where they're going to be, or I guess projecting where they're going to be financially at that point in time, not only in their commitment to the player, but in their ability to construct and reconstruct a roster over this 14, 15-year period that Vlad's going to be there.
Well, the luxury tax hit is still about $36 million.
What, for the bonus?
For all of it. It's kind of like how like Shohei is getting paid $2 million, but he still counts as like 40 on the books or whatever.
Because of the bonus.
Yeah.
I thought they were moving that around. I thought there was a number limit to that.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it right now, and on the books, Vladdy, it's $35.714 million through 2029. I can't see beyond that, but yeah.
Gotcha. So then, yeah, okay, all right. Well, either way, good. I think, to put themselves in a position where at the tail end of that, they're not chewing on as much as they are. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Why aren't more deals like this? I guess the team would have to want to just give you a shit ton of money up front.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately it. Is just the it's not like it's a question about available capital, but yeah, like is a team willing to make that sort of commitment early? And I think the gamble is, for a front office perspective, do we feel like we're going to, like, it almost feels like you have to capitalize in that early portion to feel justified in doing that. Like, if we're going to sign this guy for X amount early, we got to capitalize early so that we can justify the decision that we've made to give him $325 million up front. What does that mean? We have a 3-year window where we need to capitalize, because then financially, like the return and everything, like, I don't know.
So my reading of this, so I think most people saw this. I saw this at first and was like, oh, this is just like kind of almost like the inverse or a different version of, as you guys said, the Ohtani and Dodgers stuff, where, you're kind of manipulating payroll to a degree. This seems to be like, I don't know if this is better or worse, or it's not a value judgment in either direction, but this seems to be the Blue Jays doing everything in their power to make the situation, the contract, the money, the guarantees as favorable to Vlad Jr. as they are capable of doing within the context. Per Rosenthal, signing bonuses legally, contractually, are treated as part of the athlete's state of residence and not federal. So the way he's being taxed for a signing bonus is not the same as the way he would be taxed as if it was allocated as salary. So he's this setup per the article, it makes it so much more of Guerrero's money gets treated like it's paid in Florida, which is obviously a huge deal in terms of state income tax. So that's one thing. The other thing is that apparently, I did not know this, but signing bonuses are not contingent on the actual performance of the services. What does that mean?
No.
So if we have a lockout, if we have a work stoppage, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is still getting that money. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you're the Blue Jays and you have for months, for years maybe, been trying to get Vlad Jr. to sign a piece of paper for lots and lots of money, and he has continuously said, I'm not comfortable doing that yet, what are your options? Your options are offer more money, or it's manipulate the contract in a way that makes sure that in all of the worst case scenarios, Vlad Jr. is still getting paid by you, the Toronto Blue Jays. And per Rosenthal, as we're all kind of going through our heads here, well, why would the Blue Jays, what is the give and take here for the Blue Jays side? The give and take appears to be that Vlad Jr. signed the contract. Like that's just kind of it.
That's it. That's it. Is they gave him all of the money that they could give him. They manipulated, and as we've talked about the other day, potentially overpaid, but they manipulated this to also continue to give him the best benefit of the deal that they gave him. So does it sound like it's not only an overpay, but they also did everything they possibly could to make sure he had access to every bit of the overpay? Yes. And that is how you get over a star player in your own backyard watching you swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss on multiple free agents, only to come back to him and go, but we love you too. We love you too. I promise we love you. And it's like, okay, show me you love me. Fair enough. Here we go. Manipulate the money, move it around, tax you in Florida instead of in Canada. And now we have a deal. And Vlad's like, you know what? That sounds good, man. I can do that. I can absolutely do that.
I love it. I love it for Vladdy.
Yeah,
I love the detail about if there's a lockout that he's still getting that paper.
That's
good for him.
And that's why, trust me, and Jared, that's why and when you start talking about guys getting locked up and in this fashion with the bonus attached to it, it's so that the relationship between team and player at that point is like, hey, we good? Because we're kind of going to go through like a league-wide arbitration meeting. And if you're familiar with it, you know what that means. You know what that feels like, right? It's going to be two sides telling each other why you got to pay us and why we suck. And that's just never a fun conversation to have.
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to do a ton of lockout talk yet because I feel like that day is coming and we are going to talk about it so much that it's going to be nauseating. But to continue down the line of early overreactions, let's stay in the AL East for a second, shall we? Are the Baltimore Orioles not good, Justin Havens?
Well, I like this overreaction stuff because it does allow time for some hot takes. I mean, I think the Orioles, this is playing out in a way, at least early, that was, I think, a worst case scenario. A deep fear for Orioles fans was that, you know, what felt like a build that was going to bubble over into this at least juggernaut over a 3 or 4 year period as all these young players kept getting better, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we may honestly look back at 23 as the high water mark of this era of Orioles baseball, which is kind of crazy to consider. I don't think they're bad, no, but I think they have flaws that are very real and were very clearly identified at the start of the season. I think their pitching is, their starting pitching is, I would say, criminally bad for a team with their level of aspirations. And I understand that, you know,
it just doesn't match up on the position player side, period.
It just doesn't match up. 5.79 ERA for the rotation. That's dead last in baseball. Like, those are just the numbers. And nobody who looked at the depth chart to start the season would be surprised to learn that they are dead last in starting rotation ERA.
And that's what I'm saying, Jayhay, is the position player side of things. You can look at that and there's still room for you to have optimism with some of the younger guys who were not discussed as heavily as, you know, as guys like Jackson Holiday and his arrival. And so what do they have to do? What do they have to do? They absolutely have to pitch better. There is no other question about it.
Dallas, why do you think they're capable of doing that?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying just that, like, if that's going to happen, but this is part of the weakness that was needed to be addressed that everybody understood. You are just hoping and praying that the guys that you have penciled in are going to take those strides. And it's like, all right, that's what we're banking on. We can't do that.
Also, Jackson Holiday not playing well. Heston Kjerstad still hasn't done anything. Colton Cowser hurt, and that's why Kjerstad's playing. You know, Adley's been fine, but better than last year, but not like some sort of game-changing middle of the order force.
Westberg,
like,
right?
Yeah, this incredible core is playing like a bunch of, you know, versions of league average or slightly above or below players, and that doesn't work with the pitching staff that we just outlined in the division that they play in. Like, that's not the margin for error here.
And if Gunnar Henderson is a guy who is supposed to be talent-wise pacing a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. in terms of potential star power and productivity, Like that gap is, I mean, it's a chasm. It's not a gap. It's a chasm right now.
So it sounds like the concerns about the Baltimore Orioles are legit.
Oh, they're absolutely legitimate. They're
not a single person
legitimate.
on this panel picked them for the playoffs, did we? So
no.
I think we had a built-in level of concern, even if that's not being totally out on them in a muddled AL.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you picked them as a wild card team?
I did, yes.
Okay.
That was a mistake, I think.
Idiot.
Well, it may or may not be, but nothing about the way this team is supposed to work is going right now. Like, it has to be an offensive-driven club. Even if the ERA is expected to come down by a 1.5 for the starting rotation, even if we don't think it's going to be very good. But the long answer to your short question is that I definitely have real persistent concerns with the Orioles. Yeah.
Moving right along, the Detroit Tigers are the only team in the American League Central that has a positive run differential. I don't think that that'll remain the case the entire year. I think the Guardians will catch up. I think the Royals will catch up. I think the Twins will catch up. The White Sox, once again, they absolutely suck, which we knew that they were going to, but I thought maybe we would have a chance of like a feel-good story to, at least to start the year. Not the case. They are well on pace to shatter their record from a year ago. But the Detroit Tigers sit atop the division entering play today on Thursday, April 10th. Is this their division? Because I don't believe any of us picked them to win this division. I think we were all Royals across the board. Yes.
I picked the Royals.
Jayhay?
Yeah, I have Tigers in playoffs, but no division. Nope.
Okay. Any impressions about the Detroit Tigers, and is there any inkling inside either of you to be like, maybe I should have picked the Tigers to win this division?
I don't know that it's a maybe I should have picked them. I think it's I think what they have coming.
Their offense has been surprisingly much better than I thought it was going to be.
And I think that what they have coming and what is developing for them on the mound is something that you absolutely have to give credence to. You cannot ignore the start that Casey Mize has gotten off to. Sure, it's just 2 starts, but he's thrown the ball exceptionally well. Scooble's going to be Scooble. Like that's the fucking donkey. Flaherty has thrown the ball well. You've got high hopes for Jackson Jobe, Reese Olson. So I think if you're thinking about the discussion we just had with the Baltimore Orioles and where they're not in their pitching development, and then we look at the Detroit Tigers and we see where they are, not only in their current standing, but what their pitching development could look like, what the ceiling for those two fellas could be at the very back end of that, and a Jobe and a Reese like that. I like where we're at there. I like where we're at there. Yeah. I think the Detroit Tigers can absolutely make some noise. Absolutely.
Yeah. You brought up one of the guys that in terms of my impressions changing, I think Casey Mize going from basically, all due respect, basically a nothing as far as advancing their winning in previous seasons to, maybe being a real asset, maybe the second best pitcher in the entire rotation. We'll see. Again, it's 11 innings, but it's not like he didn't have the previous pedigree. That changes things for me. And I mean, the guy I've been more locked in on, and I feel like I'm locked in on him for like 3 weeks every season before he forces me to not be, is Spencer Torkelson. And like, there's we've seen moments of production from him before, only to be ultimately disappointed in the greatest possible way. But there are things about his start to this season which are different from what he was doing before. The batted ball data suggests that he is hitting the ball harder, squaring it up more frequently. All of that stuff is happening. And if I'm not saying he's going to slash, an OPS north of 1,000 on the season, but if Spencer Torkelson is no longer a 650 OPS guy that they're clearing out of the way to sign Gleyber Torres, essentially, and he's now much closer to like an 850 OPS, even 825. That's a game changer. I was going to say
800. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a game changer for the Tigers, I think, in an offense that, to your original point, needs a lift like that. That was my overriding concern with this team is, Riley Green's your best offensive player, but that's not the best offensive player on a really, truly serious contender. Great player. But they needed more mashing, and the Torkelson Kerry Carpenter combination looks like it might have some real sustainable legs now.
And let's not again, I don't know how crazy we want to get here, but it is an overreaction. Is Javi Baez back? Javi Baez back?
I'm not attaching my name to that.
No.
I can't endorse it. I did love that Hinch was speaking very glowingly of his ability to still receive the baseball. That's nice.
No, I mean, obviously, like, I don't think he's hit a homer. So the power, whatever, like, I don't know how productive he can be, but if he's any better than he was last year and has been for the Tigers, that's got to help a little. It's got to help a little.
Sure.
Because he's going to get regular run. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're mathematically correct in that he was below replacement level before. So yes, the act of not hurting will help. Yep.
Let's skip over to the American League West. Dallas's American League West.
Oh man.
Entering play today, you have the Texas Rangers in first place at 9-4, albeit a negative run differential. The entire division has a negative run differential.
Yep.
But here's where I want to focus. The second, third, and fourth place teams in this division. As it goes, the Los Angeles Angels enter play today at 7-4. The Houston Astros are 5-7, and the Seattle Mariners are 5-8. Do you see a world where we kind of just flip-flop the Angels and the Mariners and the Astros stay where they are? Like, is the Astros 5-7 start legit and the Angels 7-4 start? Should that be where the Mariners are, and the Mariners 5-8? That should be where the Angels are. How do you fix this puzzle?
I feel like the Mariners are, and this is why I said what I said at the beginning of the season, their pitching is going to force the hand. It has to. And I want it to force the hand in a positive way where they have to go out and do something to supplement the offense. Something. Would
have been nice to have Pete Alonso and his 1,300 OPS.
It'd be nice. But they've got to figure something out, because I don't want to have the hand forced where they're like, you know what? We just can't put it together offensively. Maybe we do start thinking about moving some of these horses in the stable to try to go and get those pieces. When the reaction to that is going to be, why didn't you just go get the offense first? Why didn't you just do that? Because we have the arms and they're here for a while. I mean, we're going to have to make some decisions on the big fella here soon. But I mean, what about the offense? Sort of like we're talking about the Orioles pitching rotation. What about that tells you they can be competitive, Jayhay? Nothing. Right now, what about this offense tells you that they can be competitive?
Yeah, I mean, yes,
they just lose Robles? Like, I mean, fuck. He could be done for the year.
Yeah, Robles is a concern. He was obviously, I don't think anybody points to him as an offensive impact player, but he was actually impactful offensively for them last season.
Yes.
I mean, I'm more hesitant to do this for the AL West than any other division that we'll talk about, because I feel like overreacting to this division just burns you, me, anybody every single season. Because like I'm looking at the Rangers, and as we discussed yesterday, like, on the Monday pod, they were 8-2, but they'd been outscored on the season. They're 9-4 now, and they've been outscored by more runs than the last time we talked. So that the Mariners are 4 back of the Rangers isn't great, 2 weeks into the season, but I'm also like, I'm genuinely not afraid, quote unquote, of the Rangers or any other team in this division. The days of the Astros being a feared team, in my opinion, are over. That doesn't mean that they can't win this division, but I just don't think that any team needs to be like we shit on the Centrals because of the mediocrity that exists in those. Did I beat you to the punch on this one?
Yes, you did. I was just getting ready.
We shit on them, but like, to me, the AL West is shaping up as just as much of a muddled mess. And if we're doing hot takes here, I'll get really into it. the Detroit Tigers feel like a more complete baseball team, and maybe the Kansas City Royals feel like a more complete baseball team right now than anything we're seeing out of the AL West.
There's, I mean, Jayhay, it's like we're dancing, because that's exactly where my mind was going. Was the AL West is now just a third central division. That's all. That's what it feels like it is. Where if you look, you could honestly, and we had this discussion because how many of us, do all three of us have the A's as a wild card team? No, Jayhay did not.
No, Jayhay does not.
I didn't get there, but I respect you guys for your boldness. Yeah.
You wanted to. But
sure. Yeah, of course. I'm pulling for it. Yeah.
The idea that I think looking at this division right now, where you could conceivably say you could give me any mixture of this division, you could jumble these teams up and spit it back out in August, and I'd go, okay, yeah, I believe it. Like whatever that may be, it's crazy to think about. But there is no longer that, and you said it, there's no longer that juggernaut fear of the big dog in the division, because for the Texas Rangers, they have the little things like okay, DeGrom, like is that going to be real? Is this something that we can bank on? And if it is, well, then things have to look a little different for them, don't they? They have to. You have to factor that in. So. Yeah, I think it's just crazy how in a year with the removal of a couple players from one team in the division, it's like the parents have left, and it's, Adventures in Babysitting, or Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. What is going on here?
Before we hop on over to the National League for some hot takes, Dallas, you look like you don't smell very good.
I smell fucking great. What are you talking about? I showered this morning.
I'm assuming you didn't. Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't use Mando because you look foul. Yeah, there's something off about you. And I can personally tell you that ever since I started using Mando, people look at me differently. They're just like, your skin looks better. You smell better. You carry yourself differently. You're more confident. Why wouldn't you be if you were using Mando products? The thing is, it really benefits someone more like Milky a little bit more, because you can use Mando.
Oh, Milky Swamp Nuggets.
you can use Mando all over, It's safe to use anywhere on your body, like your pits, your balls, your thigh folds.
Speaking of folds, when he pulled over to I believe it was a rest stop, bathroom station to take the Duran triple picture. I mean, it's dedication. It's also that's a level of grime overall that is impressive.
Well, we're gonna get him some Mando.
That's right. It's going to take care of that grime.
Yeah, we got to get Milky to quit licking truck stop toilet seats.
Right. Because Mando was actually created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. The thing about Mando is it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. What a window of relief. Solid deodorant stick formulated and powered to stop odor before it starts. Don't you just look at Milky and think like, man, if he could just get that odor to stop, the sky's the limit. His potential is limitless.
Especially in that indoor studio, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They've got the spray deodorant as well. It's aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All products are baking soda free. Choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, Dallas.
Oh.
Clover Woods.
Oh.
Mount Fuji or Pro Sport. I feel like I'd be a Pro Sport guy, but I'm really intrigued by the bourbon leather. Like, what would that smell like? Like right now, I can't smell anything.
Smells like a speakeasy. That's what it smells like.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued by the bourbon leather.
I probably just created a new flavor.
Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap. Wow. 12 hours after a shower. The average man's Grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average Grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. 0. That's results, brother. If you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, you can do so by going to Walmart, Target, other retailers across the country. For the best deals, go to shopmando.com. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like their mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and also free shipping. As a special offer for everyone out there, for BID listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with exclusive code that is that equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use our exclusive promo code, that is BID, at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Now on to the National League here for some overreactions. In the NL East, I think you all know where we're going here. You've got the Colorado Rockies, you've got the Chicago White Sox, and then you have the Atlanta Braves, who are all 2-9 entering play today. I think we can all sit here and agree and say, I don't think the Atlanta Braves are going to finish within a shouting distance of the White Sox and the Rockies when it's all said and done at the end of the year. But is the hole that they've dug themselves too deep? Especially with the Philadelphia Phillies being who they are, the New York Mets being who they are. You're not just chasing one team, you are chasing 2 teams, 2 very good teams in the National League. Has the hole that the Atlanta Braves dug themselves to start the year, is it too deep to dig out of in the NL East? We're talking winning division, not make playoffs, win division.
To win the division, yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
But
I say no.
Well, and I always think about big innings, and I say this a lot, like, what's stopping us from having that same big inning? Do you think when the inning started that we planned on watching 7 runs get thrown up on the board? No, it just happened though. Why can't that happen the next half inning? It can. So why can't there be a host of issues that these 2 teams run into, and the Braves are able to get themselves right, and that all happens and happens at the same time, and we see that gap get closed? And so is it possible? Yes. I just think that the Phillies and the Mets, for the most part, have some things going on that the Braves do not, that would allow them to continue to trend in this direction.
I still think I respect all that. I still think the answer is they have a shot at the division. The math says that they're still in it. It's a tough spot to have been in with both of the teams that you're nominally chasing, to your point, not only being in the division, but having gotten off to good starts themselves. It's not like it's the Phillies and Nationals or the Nationals and Marlins who are the teams ahead of them. It's the 2 teams that you actually need to do work against and who presumably are going to play good baseball for the rest of the season. I think the Braves are too talented to be written off at this point. I think they are just as good from this point forward as either of the other teams. The question is, to Dallas's point, can they reel off their own hot streak? I think their pitching staff and the return of their offense means that they actually can. If Spencer Schwellenbach is an actual Cy Young contender, which I think is probably more true than not, actually, I'm buying what he's selling, then I think their pitching staff, at least at the top, is good enough to reel off that sort of run. So I'm in still.
Okay. So I think I align more with Jayhay's thinking that it's still in play.
I mean, because outside of Schwellenbach, like,
I mean, it's Sale and
Who is it?
Schwallenbach and question marks for sure. But
Yeah. And so, who was Grant Holmes, right? He's up there.
Yep.
Not Juju Smith-Schuster, but fucking
Yeah.
Smith-Shaver, right? Not.
Yep.
I'll call him Juju.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
I got a nug for you guys on
Please.
the initial premise. So that the White Sox, Braves, and Rockies all 2-9.
Mm-hmm.
First time since 1998 that 3 teams started 2-9 or worse through 11 games in the same season.
Wow.
That was the Marlins, the D-backs, and your Athletics.
How many times did any of those teams go on to win the division?
I thought it was 0. I thought the Braves, that nugget was that no team has ever come back from 0-7 to even make the playoffs, let alone win the division. So 0. I guess that doesn't necessarily apply to those 3 teams because they could have been 2-9 while not also being 0-7. Could take different paths to get there. But my recollection of 1998 says that none of those teams made the playoffs. That was the post-fire sale Marlins team. Feel good about that one. That was pre-importing all the good players, Diamondbacks. Feel good about that one. And I can't tell you a fucking thing about the 1998 A's.
No.
What was happening on the 98 A's? I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, who was on that team? That was in between all the teams that ever mattered for the A's, right?
Koch. That was early
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
Yeah,
I got to. They went 74-88. The team was managed by Art Howe. The best pitcher on the team was Kenny Rogers. If you forgot Kenny Rogers, Oakland A's period.
That's crazy.
So that was pre-breakout. I mean, he was good, but pre-full breakout Jason Giambi. Miguel Tejada was on the team, but sucked. Ricky Henderson was 39 years old and still stole 66 bases.
That's crazy. Mark Bellhorn was on the team. Oh, no, he was in AAA.
Ben Grieve won the Rookie of the Year, actually. So that's what happened. There you go. Rotation was Kenny Rogers, Tom Candiotti, Jimmy Haynes, Mike Oquist, and Blake Stein. All right. Anyway, that's talking late 90s A's.
Talking 98 A's. The GM.
Did we tell Dallas that we saw Tony La Russa stumbling around the airport?
We didn't.
In St. Louis.
And he's going to be like, "Oh, why are you saying stumble?"
Well,
because
he's a drunk. But I think it's because
my God, Jared.
What? What?
I was going to say he's like the crypt keeper. He's so old. But
he's old.
You went the other direction. Which
he's older. He's been walking around. I mean, he's been dealing with some shit.
So he's been dealing with some shit. We were walking around the airport in St. Louis, and I saw this guy he looked very lost and alone. And I said, "That looks like Tony La Russa." And Jay stopped and he was like, that is Tony La Russa. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because they probably had him involved in the opening day ceremony or whatever here at the Cardinals.
Yes.
But he was very lost and very alone in the airport in St. Louis. Yeah.
It's all right. He's in good hands.
He was in nobody's hands. He was in God's hands at that point. Yeah.
Well, I hope Tony got home safely.
I'm sure we would have found out by now if he didn't. Jason Giambi was on the 98 A's.
Yeah.
110 ribbies.
That's a crazy team to even go through.
Yeah. What a world. Anyways.
What a world.
The NL Central, I don't mean to offend. It's boring for this, I guess, segment that we're doing. Because I think that if I were to tell you that you could freeze the division right now and that's how it would be at the end of the year, would you tell me I'm wrong? Cubs, Brewers,
No.
Cardinals, and some combination of the Pirates, Reds
Yeah.
at the bottom.
I think we can just lock it in, print it.
Yeah.
The
Like
Cubs
there's
are
no
good,
team
man.
that's overperforming. There's no team that's underachieving.
The Cubs are
this is
good.
perfect.
Yeah, now that the Brewers have run off the 3-game win streak and gotten their run differential back to where a little closer after last night's drubbing in Coors Field, I feel good about that statement. Yeah. I mean, I know we don't want to do it because we all felt good about our trip down there, and everybody's so nice and the players were great. But at some point, we're going to have a Pittsburgh Pirates conversation. So,
Ooh.
Not now. Not now.
it doesn't have to be now, but
Too early. Too early. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's too early, Dallas?
It's too early. It's too early.
it's too early. Like vibes are still like it's not time to be overly negative. It's not too early in the sense that like we know.
Can we just get through the first month? Can we just please get through the first month?
You sound
the
irritated,
first month?
Dallas. What's going
It's
on?
April
Yeah,
10th. I'm not going to be able to make it the first
No.
month. That's not happening.
Come on.
No.
The first month, just
There's no chance. There's no chance that's happening. I'm just telling you right now. I will give you until next week.
Next.
well.
Wow. That's a
Just,
short leash.
How about 2 more turns through the rotation?
All right.
That's 10
All right.
days.
We'll put a pin in it.
All right.
April 20th, 420. That's fitting. Nailed it.
Perfect.
Do we
Good
have a
thing you
pod on that
decided
day?
to wait because I did revamp the soundboard and I
Nice.
don't know that I have
We'll wait. Yeah.
the Pirates.
Yeah. Can't do a pirate segment without the pirate soundboard.
No. I knew something was missing. But I didn't forget this.
No,
So
you
that's on there.
you wouldn't want to forget that.
No. That's
the
on
number
there.
one
Disrespect.
Pirates audio element.
Disrespect.
And then last but not least, the most interesting, the most compelling, the most competitive division in Major League Baseball, the NL West, has the Padres in first place entering play today, followed by a 2-way tie, San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Dodgers, who are only a half game back of the Padres for first place. Then you have the Diamondbacks 3 games out, a game above 500. Lots of different angles you could take here. Let's start with, let's not be silly. Let's not ask something like, is there a team other than the Dodgers that are going to win this division? Unless someone wants to get brave. Anyone want to get brave on here?
I after what I've seen with the San Diego Padres and the fact that they are going through some injury issues right now, I think when fully healthy, the San Diego Padres have an opportunity to compete with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Here's the question I'm going to ask, because obviously no one has the balls to pick a team other than the Dodgers to win this division. But we were, a week ago talking 120 wins for this Dodgers team? Here's the question I'll pose to the panel. The Dodgers win the NL West by 5 games or fewer. Yes or no?
I'll take this one first while DB does the math. I think the gap is larger than 5 games. And,
Okay.
I know that the 120 thing you're saying, wasn't that naive to think that? They're on pace to win 116 games still. So their 714 win percentage is actually tracking just fine. It's just that the other teams in the division are tracking better. I'm still in on them being a 110 type of win team and winning the division pretty handily.
Okay.
My question just goes back to kind of what I'm saying right now is I don't know that Tatis Jr. is going to be available for the amount of games that he would need to be available for if this team is going to do what they're going to do. And I mean, I'm not saying he's done for 2 months and 3 months. And I'm saying there's going to be a week or 2 here. Like, I don't know. Like, have they IL'd him yet?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe they don't. And maybe because I believe they have an off day today, which helps buy them a day. But I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see what that turns into because he left the game. He left the game. It didn't look good. He looked very uncomfortable. And if that's a shoulder issue again, who knows how long that's going to take for him to rebound and get right and get back. And Jackson Merrill as well.
Yeah. Well, not to speak for you, but I think you're hitting at the point as to at least why I think the Dodgers will keep the gap, to Jared's point, 5 or greater than 5, is because like they have the depth. And this was the appeal that we talked about. It's yes, the star power is great, but this offseason was as much about building out the roster depth in all places as it was anything else. And that's the exact opposite of what the Padres spent the offseason doing. They spent their season giving away their depth or not re-signing their depth or whatever it might be. And so while I know the Padres are not 100% healthy, the Giants mostly are. I just think we're getting kind of the idealized versions pre-Jackson Merrill injury of these other teams. And as the Tatises of the world crop up and Jackson Merrill's hamstring and the next version of that, and the Giants suffer their own stuff, the Dodgers will be able to plug along in a way that these other teams cannot. And even if you gain, that's the thing about baseball, like a 5-game lead in the division to end the season, a 6-game lead to end the season is a game a month, basically, right? Like that sort of progress can be made at a pace that feels like you're not even acknowledging it while it's happening. And then you look up at the end of the season and they've won the division by 8-9 games.
What do I always, every time we have this kind of conversation, I always point back to the 21 run that the Dodgers and the Giants were both on, right? Yeah. Where after an entire month of baseball, one game worth of difference was made.
Which is so cool. It's so
one
cool.
game. That's incredible to think about. I seriously, I think about that way more often than I think about a lot of other important shit I should be thinking about. I just try to like wrap my head around like the pitching performances, the comebacks, the sweeps. Like you got to be pacing the other club. There is no option to not. Like the amount of success that was happening at the same time was just fucking incredible. And the Padres, to the point about the depth too, is they've got good guys. They've got guys. That fucking bullpen is tough. Let me tell you, I got a real good look at that bullpen, brother. There's some fucking out-getters, some fucking swing and miss in that bullpen. Morejon, fucking 98 from the nipple. Nasty. And it looks easy too. I don't think Suarez has given up a fucking run. Fucking Wandy. I don't think Wandy, like it's been solid. Outside of Dylan Cease taking a beating, like his worst outing of his career. Like him, obviously Michael King. They've got the opportunity to make noise. They've got it. The health is the question mark, and the sustainability of the Dodgers is just going to prove to be too much.
So this is my last question for the hot take segment where we're running through every division in baseball. Currently, there are 3 teams ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NL West. Are there 3 teams in that division that are better than the Diamondbacks when it's all said and done?
No. I think the Diamondbacks are the second best team in the division still. Sticking with that.
Okay. I'm with you. Dallas?
What'd you say, Jared? You're with them?
Yep. I have the D-backs in the World Series.
See, I think if the Padres can stay healthy, that's my biggest question with them, man. That's my biggest question.
See, here's how I see it. I think the Diamondbacks staff is just as good. I think their offense is better. And I think they're more They are less susceptible to crippling injuries derailing their season because of depth-related issues than the Padres are. So, like, baseball can play out in many different ways, but I look at those two teams and I'm like, what is the Padres angle relative to the D-backs? And I'm not sure I see it. That's one side of my mouth. The other side of my mouth is that I think in the preseason pod, whatever, acknowledge that all four of these teams, in particular, the Padres D-backs portion, are probably 85 to 92 or 93 win teams, right? So, like, a lot can happen in between that win window over sample size stuff. But yeah, I'm fully behind. Nothing about the D-back season is getting me off the scent there.
No. And I mean, it's not like you can just ignore that this is the team that produced more offense than anybody last year.
There you have it. Hopefully we hit on your team. Hopefully we made you feel better about your team.
Yeah.
But I think what really would make you feel the best about your team is if you went and saw your team.
Mm-hmm. How are you going to do that?
Well, you download the Game Time app, Dallas.
Ah, okay.
That's what you do.
Done.
Yeah, because Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying all MLB tickets. Last night, my dad and my sister, they used the Game Time app. They went to Fenway Park last night, and they got to meet, I can't really call him a ball boy because he's a ball man, but ended up chatting up Luis, who is a gentleman and a scholar, longtime Fenway Park ambassador, and didn't even know that it was my family. Took great care of them. You never know who you're going to meet at a ball game. So shout out to the good folks, the stadium workers, the ballpark employees. Be social. Be social when you use the Game Time app and you go to these ball games. You never know who you're going to be able to network with and what connections you might be able to make and how that might benefit you somewhere down the line. So download the Game Time app. Last minute deals. They save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Game Time picks make last minute ticket buying even easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. Save even more when you choose a section and you let Game Time choose the seats for you. Toggling the all-in pricing feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets. The lowest price guarantee, your Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is also covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I misspoke earlier. Yeah, I said we were going to have Family Feud today. We're not.
Oh, that's right.
Next week.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's next week.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Something
the
to look
discourse
forward
can wait a week to fuck us, Dallas.
to. Yeah, it's fair. Sons of bitches. See
Yeah.
you laying in the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well,
Well,
spoken
the
like a
periodic table of elements, if you could give me the signal and coincide that with the go. You know what? It's an off day for me. You're not gonna ruin my off day discourse.
wow.
Fuck you. Not gonna happen.
Oh, wow. Off day.
Not gonna.
Must
Are
be
you
nice.
when you have an off day, Dallas? Are you I need to get away from the game guy, or are you gonna watch? I mean, it's not like an exhilarating slate today. There's only 6 games.
No.
But is there a game that tickles your fancy that you're going to tune in for today?
Oh,
I could see you the primetime game tonight, Luzardo Schwellenbach. That could be a Dallas tickle.
I was down. I was absolutely down to watch El Problema.
I thought you were going to say Jonathan Cannon, Gavin Williams.
That wasn't the first one.
Quinn Priester making his Brewers debut tonight after getting traded from the Red Sox, former first round pick. He was traded from the Pirates to Boston for Nick York. It was kind of like a first rounder for first rounder type deal. And then I think the Red Sox kind of saw they've got some depth to deal with. deal from. And they said, here you go. So he makes his debut tonight.
Always cool to make your debut in Coors.
Ooh, yeah, that's tough.
Go get him.
Tough.
That is tough.
You see, Antonio Senzatella has allowed 24 hits in 14 innings pitched this year, 28 hits in 14 innings pitched this year.
That's not good.
It's too many.
Yeah.
But how's the ERA?
No, it's bad now. The tightrope finally collapsed. Yeah.
Man.
That was yesterday. That was the start yesterday. He got fucked up yesterday.
Yeah. That's damn it. Yeah, because that was one of our talking points going into the series.
4 1/3, 9 hits only works so long.
Only works. What was that? His third start?
Yeah, it worked for 2 starts.
Yeah, it only works twice. So he tried to run that play again, and I fucking respect it. I respect the hell out of it. But unfortunately, did not work out.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to be dialed in on El
Praise Phils tonight
and Schwellenbach.
Okay. Jayhay, anything that tickles the balls today?
Well, hold on. Isn't Bassett's going tonight, right?
Bassett goes
the
4
Hound.
o'clock.
Bueller? The Hound.
Bassett Bueller, yeah.
Release the Hound.
How have we never had Bassett on this podcast?
Did we not have him? We had him.
I don't think so.
No.
In the old days? No.
I'll have to check the grid, but
I don't believe so.
my mental grid saying no.
Man, really?
Well, I don't know. My mental grid's not perfect, but I'll check the Google Sheets grid.
I want to say maybe you did something with him, but I don't think we did something with him.
Yeah, Dallas probably talked to him at the ballpark or something one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's thanks for coming on, brother.
I talked to him every day at the ballpark.
He had an unplugged mic.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Yeah, we used to give Dallas a microphone that wasn't plugged in just so that, he would get mad.
Yeah. We're recording. Yeah, this will be on the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good shit. Good shit. I think I want to say
no go on Bassett back in the day.
Yeah, it wasn't that he came on with us. I think he went on someone else's show and shouted us out. So there was a clip of him talking about, he's like, guys like Pitching Ninja and not Baseball's Dead, but I think he said Starting 9 at the time. There was some sort of crossover with the pod, but he wasn't on it.
Well, yeah, we could make that happen, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're ready.
No doubt. What do you want? You want to do it next week?
Yeah.
After he fucking goes 7 shut today against the Sucks?
I mean, he's having a great start to his year, yeah. How old is he? 37? 36?
Dealing. I think he's 36.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Let's get him on.
Jake, book Chris Bassett because I know Dallas isn't going to do it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Any final thoughts? Any nugs today, Justin Havens?
I do.
Yes, please.
Yesterday, Max Fried became the first Yankees left-handed pitcher to have a start of 0 runs, 0 walks, and 10 or more strikeouts on the road since the Candyman, John Candelaria, on July 2nd, 1988.
That was a fun outing to watch if you got the chance to sit down and catch the whole thing.
Made quick work of them.
Just a deal fest.
One of these stories early on, certainly the story for the Angels, Kyron Paris, first player with 5 or more homers and 4 or more stolen bases through the first 10 games of a season since Larry Walker in 1997. And actually, after I found that, I took it a step further. He's the first player in AL history to do that. All the other previous examples have been in the NL. So first time since 97, we've seen that. Dropped the White Sox, Braves, and Rockies nug earlier. Here's a Jackson Chourio nug, who was obviously at the center of your big win yesterday and the people's win on Underdog. Jackson Chourio has 0 walks, folks, and a 994 OPS. The guy has 55 plate appearances this year and somehow 0 walks. That is I know everybody was wondering, that is the 5th highest OPS by a player through 12 games who also had 0 walks in the wild card era, behind Dante Bichette in 1998, Luis Robert Jr. in 2023, Rocco Baldelli in 2003. That's right, you young folks. He used to be a baseball player. And Torrey Hunter in 2013. So Jackson Chourio with an incredibly interesting, unique statistical profile so far, assuming he will walk at some point. But until he does, I'll be monitoring it. And those are the Nuggs. And I mean, I know you've got more, but I just wanted to shout out your pack today too, for those who still want to win. Big time.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber and Wilyer Abreu, am I right?
Yes, you are correct. Yeah, I only did 2 picks today because of the it's a 6-game slate and 2 games are at 1:00, one's at 2. The Red Sox are on at 4. Yeah, it's tough.
This is the 6-game slate, Jared, is where you got to expand. That's where you got to expand.
I know, but in order to like get the picks out so that people can like see it and take them, like I wanted to have some time for it to sit out there. So I couldn't do 1:00 games. I couldn't do 2:00 games. So it really left us with 3 games to pick from. So,
and you only picked 2 of the 3. That's disappointing.
Yeah. Well, even 3 was kind of pushing it. So I feel good about my picks today. We'll revisit on Monday because I'll be putting out picks every day. Every day. Every morning. I wake up to a dog screaming. I get out of bed, feed the dog, take out the dog, send Jayhay my picks. That's my morning routine.
That's right.
Well, that's not how you referred to her the other day.
Oh.
So every time I wake up, I got this screaming. I was like, brother, that's a slippery slope you're walking on right there. Slippery slope.
Did you call me a bitch?
Well,
I didn't say it. Jared said it.
Listen.
No, there's nothing I like better than text message from Justin being the first thing people see when they wake up in the morning. It's not irritating at all. I know.
I love it.
I look forward to it.
Yep, I know you guys do. That's why you're the best. That's why our relationship continues to thrive.
Yeah. Well, I'm like as I am trying to teach a puppy new tricks, you're trying to teach me new tricks.
It's a nice way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually we'll get to a point where you don't even need to tell me. I'll just be doing it.
Nope. Like I was going to tell you, make sure to post your pick from today after we sign off here, but now I don't even have to do that because you just know.
I just know.
And to tag underdog and all that sort of stuff. And you already know to do that. Yep.
I already know to do that. Yep. I do. Dallas, you have any final thoughts today?
Yeah. You know what? Did you guys see this play that happened in the Pirates game?
Yes, I did. The collision and then the tag out at home.
Yes. I just, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why, and I forget who was running, but I couldn't figure out why he didn't just jump over the pile. Why did he not just jump over the pile? You've got the pitcher and the catcher. I mean, they're basically like laying on each other, right? Or is it the first baseman? I think it was the first baseman. I think it was Rodriguez and Bart who just ended up like laying on each other, basically. And then because the ball fucking squirts out, Brian Hayes comes over, I think, and picks it up and is like, oh, well, I'll just tag the guy who decided to like tiptoe, run around. Like it was, I felt like that guy was like, I can't score here. What do I got to do to not score? What can I possibly do? He took the world's longest route to home plate from where he was. And that's all I could think about is, why did you just jump over the fucking pile? Why did you just jump over the pile, touch home plate, score? But he reestablished his baseline, and it was just I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was comical.
That is a good point. Like he's got
ample time. It's like, if he stays, just react.
I hate to make sweeping baseball judgments off of one clip within one game of a long season. And I probably would have reacted more like he reacted, but that to me is a juxtaposition of like one guy having questionable instincts in the moment and Brian Hayes having like a very slow heartbeat in the moment too, right?
Yeah.
And being able to kind of like
just trail the play.
Yeah, know like have an awareness for what was happening and whatever. I'm not trying to make too much of it, but one guy made the wrong decision and one guy calmly made the right decision, and there you go. But yeah, why didn't he just jump? Just jump.
I don't get it. Who trying to find a name? Sagisi. Thomas Sagisi.
Yeah.
I just I know. Bro, just jump over the pile and you're there. You're there. That's all.
Also would have been a highlight. Would have probably been the highlight of his career to this point, jumping over two dudes laying on the ground to score a run.
Would have been sick. But
oh well,
still,
maybe next time.
Pirates got the out.
Jake's takes?
I'm heading over to Fenway in a couple hours, so I'll talk to Chris Bassett, get him booked. I'll let you know how it goes, but we should probably plan on having him Monday morning.
Yeah. All right.
Done.
Beautiful. I can't wait. How's the weather, Jake?
Looking like a crisp 49, so rocking the hoodie for sure.
Okay. That's better than 26, what it's been. So, all right. Enjoy the game. Hopefully the Sox get a win. Hopefully Bassett pitches well, so he says yes to Jake's request, and then the Red Sox still win.
Yeah, because
that's a win-win.
Just a little peek under the hood. We were lined up with Cease, and I always for Slab Lab, and I always go into these things knowing if things do not go well, I don't even want to do the interview with them. I want them in a positive headspace. So the minute that things started to go south, I was like, well, that sucks. Even go on ahead and head home. We're all done here. So maybe later in the year. But stay tuned because we did get the King. Michael King.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
And that you want to talk about like storyteller, funny, great personality. And just again another moment where you get information from a guy and you get his perspective, not necessarily information, but just his perspective. And you may not have thought that he thinks about things this way, or you may not think that these guys prioritize things. And I am always not shocked, but I am always just taken aback at the level of detail and the level of attention that these guys pay to certain things. It just reminds me why they're so fucking good.
That'll be exciting. Be on the lookout for that. Obviously, another gem put together by Michael Emond. That's Emond for 3 with an E. But all right, everyone, enjoy your weekend of baseball. We'll be right back here on Monday with more Baseball is Dead to break down all the action. Stay tuned to the social media channels for the Underdog fantasy picks as they will be daily throughout the entire season. And maybe I don't know when we're going to be making an announcement. There's going to be an announcement about some sort of new content schedule. Though it's not to I guess defer away from what we've been doing. You'll still get everything that we've been doing, but you're going to get like more stuff. So that announcement also coming soon as well. Very excited for that. All right. Enjoy your weekend of baseball. See you on Monday.
Wow.